The Imperium calls them mindless. A green tide throwing itself uselessly against Imperial guns. That's the lie they sell you. Buried in classified archives are censored battle reports proving otherwise. 10 Ork battles so impossible, so tactically brilliant, the Administratum erased them from history, turning Imperial Titans into scrap with salvaged weapons. Victories so embarrassing, the Inquisition executed witnesses who filed reports. For every dozen triumphs Terra celebrates, there's a hushed-up catastrophe locked away forever. Today, we're exposing what the High Lords buried. 10 battles that prove Orks are the most dangerously underestimated force in the galaxy. The Imperium sends elite Raven Guard and Elysian drop troops to assassinate mech boss Buzzgob. Surgical strike. Perfect Spec Ops mission on paper. The Orks didn't just counter it, they outthought it. The Elysian diversion hit a wall of Goth Orks who weren't distracted at all. The Raven Guard captain abandoned his assassination mission to save dying guardsmen. That single deviation was all Buzzgob needed. His Stompas roared to life. The raid collapsed into panicked retreat. 2,500 elite drop troops dead. 70 Raven Guard Space Marines lost. The Imperium left behind heavy weapons for the Orks to loot. The Administratum classified the after-action report. WAAAGH terrorized the sector for another decade. The official story? Equipment failure. The truth? Orks turned Imperial tactics against their creators. The Crimson Fists, sons of Rogel Dorn, masters of defense. Their fortress monastery, the Arks Tyrannus, was impregnable. When war boss Snagrod's WAAAGH arrived, the chapter was confident. Then came the impossible. The Arks Tyrannus fired planetary defense missiles at the Ork fleet. One missile malfunctioned, turned back, slammed into the fortress's own ammunition depot. The blast obliterated the Arks Tyrannus, killed most of the chapter in seconds. Chapter Master Pedro Cantor left with a handful of survivors fighting guerrilla warfare. The Imperium calls it a freak accident. 1 in a trillion odds. But consider this. The Ork WAAAGH field bends reality itself. Did the Greenskins weaponize probability? The Mechanicus won't investigate. They can't explain it. So, they buried the question. Fresh from the Second War for Armageddon, Ghazghkull Thraka wasn't beaten. He was learning. He chose Piscina IV, a Dark Angel's stronghold, as his testing ground. His new teleporta technology, mass teleportation for Orks. The Adeptus Mechanicus called it absurd. Orks using stable teleportation? Impossible. They were wrong. Ghazghkull and Nazdreg established a network of teleportas. They bypassed fortified Space Marine lines entirely, dumped hordes of boys directly into Dark Angel's defenses. Companies of Astartes surrounded, overwhelmed. The Dark Angels eventually destroyed the relays, but the damage was done. Ghazghkull field-tested impossible technology, proved he could neutralize the Imperium's greatest advantages. The Mechanicus won't admit Orks can innovate. Admitting it means their 10,000-year monopoly on technology is a lie. So they classified Piscina IV as an anomaly. Ghazghkull used those lessons at Armageddon. Millions died because the Imperium refused to believe Greenskins could outthink them. Third War for Armageddon. Ghazghkull got bored. Visions from Gork and Mork told him a bigger fight waited elsewhere. He fled on his flagship, the Kill Rekka. Commissar Yarrick and High Marshal Helbrecht gave chase. They cornered him in the Haunted Gulf. Dead-end region of space. No escape. Imperial Navy fleet and Black Templars crusade versus one damaged Ork ship. The outcome was obvious. The Imperials hammered the Kill Rekka, prepared boarding parties to get the galaxy's most wanted Ork. Then Ghazghkull's Weird Boys unleashed pure WAAAGH energy. Every Imperial system shut down instantly. Turrets silent. Engines dead. Voxcasters quiet. The Navy and Black Templars watched helplessly as Ghazghkull's ship, glowing green, slipped into the warp. The Ordo Xenos won't explain how Orks generated an EMP that powerful. Psychic phenomenon? Impossible technology? They buried the incident. Yarick's report remains classified, because admitting Ghazghkull can disable entire fleets means he's unstoppable. Ghazghkull Thraka invaded Armageddon. The Imperium dismissed it as just another WAAAGH. They were catastrophically wrong. This wasn't mindless migration, it was calculated conquest. Ghazghkull displayed strategic thinking that baffled Imperial tacticians. Elite commandos for surgical strikes inside hive cities. Mechs retrofitted Gargants with earth movers to tear down fortifications standing for centuries. For every defensive strategy Commissar Yarrick devised, Ghazghkull countered it. His most devastating move? A massive psychic attack through Weird Boys that erased the minds of Port Hellsreach's defenders. His forces walked in unopposed. Though eventually driven off-world, the damage was irreversible. Ghazghkull elevated the threat level of his entire species. The Administratum won't acknowledge what this means. An Ork war boss matching Imperial strategic doctrine, adapting, learning, winning. They classified his tactical innovations, because admitting an Ork is a strategic genius destroys the foundational lie that greenskins are primitive. An entire war spiraling out of Imperial control. Inquisitor Cryptman faced Hive Fleet Leviathan's advance. His brilliant plan? Lure the Tyranids into the massive Ork empire of Octarius. Let two Xenos threats annihilate each other. The plan worked, then backfired spectacularly. The Orks weren't terrified, they were ecstatic. Finally, the perfect enemy. Endless, glorious combat. The constant warfare forged the surviving Orks bigger, stronger, more cunning. The Tyranids feasted on limitless Ork biomass, evolving new biomorphs specifically to kill greenskins. Cryptman created a meat grinder, empowering both sides. The Overfiend of Octarius was slain. The fighting still rages. The Inquisition executed Cryptman for heresy, but they won't reveal why. Because his experiment proved the Imperium can't control Xenos warfare. They can only make it worse. Hyper-evolved Tyranids and battle-forged Orks threaten to spill out. The galaxy isn't ready. Warboss Tuska loved a good scrap. After demons invaded his ship, he got a taste for fighting warp creatures. He wanted more, so he did the most Ork thing imaginable. He pointed his wad directly at the Eye of Terror. Tuska punched through the Cadian blockade, carved a path across demon worlds, finally landed on a planet made of flesh, ruled by a demon prince of Khorne. In the final battle, all his boys slain, Tuska impaled the demon prince before dying himself. Khorne was entertained. The blood god resurrected Tuska and his entire WAAAGH in his own realm. Now, every single day, they fight Khorne's greatest demons. Die gloriously, resurrect at dawn, repeat forever. Ghazghkull returned to Armageddon, not for a rematch, to finish the job. He brought the largest Ork fleet ever assembled to assault an Imperial world. Outnumbered, Battlefleet Armageddon 6-1. The Imperium mustered forces from more than 20 Space Marine chapters. Unprecedented coalition. Still on the back foot, Ghazghkull attacked multiple hives simultaneously, stretching defenders to breaking point. Millions of guardsmen died. Thousands of Space Marines fell. For every Ork killed, 2 more took its place. The war only stalled when Armageddon's season of fire began. Soaring temperatures forced even Orks to seek shelter. Natural phenomenon, not Imperial victory. The Administratum declared it a stalemate. They won't admit the truth. The most fortified planet in the sector. The most elite defenders the Imperium could muster. 20 Space Marine chapters. All of it barely held the line. Ghazghkull proved the Imperium's military doctrine is obsolete. One Ork warboss fought the galaxy's finest to a standstill. They can't explain how, so they don't. Necrons of the Sautek dynasty, immortal killing machines with technology that strips beings apart atom by atom. The idea that primitive Orks could defeat them? Laughable. Yet on Amarah, it happened. The Necron overlord made a critical error. He underestimated the WAAAGH itself. The Orks saw Necron's self-repairing bodies and got excited. The metal skeletons were getting back up for another round. That collective belief, the gestalt psychic field of millions of Orks, began warping reality. Necron reanimation protocols failed. Gauss weapons flickered and died. Ork shooters hit harder. Junk heap vehicles ran better. The sheer reality-bending belief of the Orks overwhelmed soulless Necron perfection. The Adeptus Mechanicus buried the data. Ork psychic fields defeating technology millions of years more advanced. It proves their entire understanding of physics is wrong. So they classified Amarah as an anomaly. Because admitting Orks can rewrite reality through belief means the Imperium's technological superiority is an illusion. 32nd Millennium. Not a WAAAGH, an apocalypse. Led by colossal prime Orks known only as the Beast, the Orks brought the Imperium to the brink of total annihilation. Their technology was so advanced, the Adeptus Mechanicus was dumbfounded. Attack moons, planetoids hollowed out, converted into mobile star fortresses. Gravitic whips shattered fleets. Teleportation through subspace. They laid siege to Ultramar, pushed all the way to Terra itself. Destroyed the Phalanx. The Imperium resorted to its final sanction, bringing back a Primarch. Vulcan led the counterattack on Ullanor, faced a 10-meter-tall Primorch speaking perfect Imperial Gothic. Vulcan sacrificed himself just to kill it. The High Lords won't declassify the full War of the Beast records, because it proves the ultimate terrifying truth. A fully realized Ork empire isn't a threat to a sector. It's an extinction-level event for humanity. The Imperium survived by luck, not strength. They can't admit that, so the records stay sealed. So the next time some Imperial propagandist tells you Orks are mindless brutes, remember these battles. Attack moons, psychic shutdowns, weaponized bad luck. Orks don't win despite their absurd tactics. They win because of them. Their belief bends physics. Their brutal cunning outwits ancient generals and primarchs. The Imperium wants you to think they're a joke, but the scribes filing these reports know the terrifying reality. The only thing stopping Orks from conquering the galaxy? They can't stop fighting each other long enough to do it. And if they ever figure that out, not even the Emperor can help us. If you enjoyed this deep dive into forbidden lore, crump that like button and subscribe for more truths the Imperium doesn't want you to know. Let us know in the comments which impossible victory shocked you the most. Now get out there and get fightin'. Thanks for watching.